singing timeless classics like Paraiso, Kailan. Smokey Mountain has made tracks that have long become points of pride for original Filipino music. Last year, Smokey Mountain also performed at a virtual benefit concert for the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Members Geneva, Cruz, and Tony Lambino join us tonight to tell us more about their musical journeys. Geneva, Tony, we just got home.
Hi, Rico. Hi, Jen.
Welcome to the final word. You guys are working late tonight.
We are
Indeed,
indeed.
we are working late.
You know, Geneva, let me start off with you. It's been more than 3 decades since Smokey Mountain's first single, Kailan, and the song composed by national artist Ryan Kayab has become such a nationwide hit. Then, until today.
Correct. Tito Ryan always tells me that I sang his biggest song ever. So, I mean, that's really big for me. Come on, I mean, he met me when I was only 12. He molded me into this artist that I am now. And the Kailan will always be, you know, my song.
That's
and
right.
Somebody asked me how I feel when other people sing it. I said, it's not my song, it's the maestro's song. So why would I feel bad? Actually, it feels good that...
And Tony, Kailan became one of the well-loved and best-selling ballads that kicked off Smokey Mountain's successful singing career. When you joined the group, did you ever see fame coming your way?
You know what, Rico? It was such a big surprise for all of us. We actually had no idea what was happening. We were really just learning from the best musicians, the best choreographers, recording with some of the country's best sessionists. Our costumes were designed by Badong Bernal. Our choreographer was Douglas Nieras. Our musical director was Ryan Kayab. I mean, it was just amazing how much we were learning at the time from these icons. And when the fame came, it was a shock to all of us.
Right.
Partly, Rico, because Smokey Mountain was an experiment. It was an experiment of what it would be like if young teenagers would sing pop songs with a message. If you recall, during the time, the musicians that did message songs were mostly folk or rock singers. No? And so Mr. C said, let's try something in the pop genre and let's see if it sells. And in fact, there's a story behind Kailan. It's one of the songs that replaced Paraiso from the first album. Paraiso was the first song that Ryan Kayab wrote for the group. And it became an international and a national hit, winning the Grand Prix in the Tokyo Music Festival with the second group. But Rico, the first lineup for our album included Paraiso. However, the recording company felt that it was too heavy.
Yeah.
And so they took it out and they asked Mr. C to write a Filipino song. And Mr. C wrote Kailan. And so that's why Kailan was in the first album.
And you know what? When I was driving on my way to work, I would just... I would always hum your favorite ballads, like Kailan, Can This Be Love, Paraiso. You know,
Hey, Rico, you can sing.
I can. And you know, Geneva, I mean, all these songs have been sung by many singers in different versions, no? And these are beautiful and timeless songs that have lived and survived over the past 3 decades.
But Rico, the song that it never fails to amaze me is one that all the children know. Because, people our age, of course, they still kind of remember what we look like. Geneva, of course. But sometimes they look at me and they say, aren't you that guy from Smokey Mountain? And I say, yes, thank you for remembering. And then they turn to their kids and then they say, don't you know him? And their kids have no idea who I am, right? And then the parents will almost always say, they're the ones who sang the coconut nut is a giant nut. and then the kids go, oh yeah, I know that song. The coconut nut is one of those iconic ones as well.
And Geneva, you sang Kailan at the
Yes.
age of 12. Was it a life-changing
Yes.
experience for you?
Well, it was, but I didn't know really what love was during that time yet. So it was just a 12-year-old girl singing a love song. And you know what, Rico? The good thing about the songs of our national artist, Ryan Teabiak, is that up to this very day, the songs are relevant, you know? And we even have one song called what is that song? Escape, Tony. And
Yes, yeah.
there's a line there that says, escape to where people never judge you by the color of your skin, the virus that you bring, the kind of songs that you sing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, Maestro Ryan is really a brilliant songwriter.
Brilliant
And
songwriter.
Geneva,
Yes.
let's start off with you, no? Because both of you have taken different directions, no? In your personal careers. You've stayed in showbiz, Geneva, and you have launched your first single in 8 years called Sinungaling, and you're now back into acting in teleseries.
Yes, actually at the set of Little Princess, GMA 7, we'll be launching it on January 10th, so I hope people can watch it. I haven't done a teleserie in 20 years, so please watch it, and also check out my song Sinungaling. You can listen to it on Spotify, on YouTube, on iTunes. It's a beautiful song written by my good friend Geneva.
And what about you, Tony? Your career is no longer in showbiz, but now with government. When I saw you back in 2015, you were with the International Rice Research Institute, then you moved to the Department of Finance, and you're now with the Central Bank. What brought you to this point in your life journey?
Well, you know, Rico, the experience of Smokey Mountain really brought home the point that if you do have messages that you would like to relay, the intersection between those messages and the mass media is so important. And when we were with Smokey Mountain, hindi pa kauso yung social media noon, but now you add social media to the mix. And it's such a powerful area to educate, to inform, to share awareness about public issues. That's what Smokey Mountain was about. No? Majority of the songs are message songs. We have environmental songs, songs about poverty, street children, overseas Filipino workers, immigration and the diaspora. I mean, those were all in the first album even. The love songs were a minority, but of course we do love them as well, no, Rico? Given that, I really saw that my life's work could be in that intersection of communication, mass media, and those social issues that I guess we all need to work on to make a better life for everybody.
A better life indeed. And Geneva, Tony, everyone is hoping that all the members of Smokey Mountain will have a reunion concert now that things are sort of like getting back into normal. And of course, Maestro Ryan is the man who can get you all together. I watched your Smokey Mountain reunion video called Paraiso and Better World. It just gave me goosebumps and made me teary-eyed that, you all should get back together again.
Well, it makes us teary-eyed also when we get back together, actually. It took decades, Rico, for us to do a real reunion. And it just so happens, I guess, it's part of the DNA of the group that we get together when there's a cause to support. We got together after a decade and a half, I think, to record a song. All 7 of us, both the first and the second group, after the tsunami hit Japan. And the second group of Smokey Mountain, they lived in Japan for a number of years.
So
the song is entitled I Feel What You Feel. And then now, when the pandemic hit, Mr. C brought us together.
So
Brought us
Geneva,
back together. To
sorry,
do,
Tony.
some
We have
numbers.
about 30 seconds
Yes.
left before the end of the show. Geneva, are you hoping
Yes.
for a reunion
Yes.
concert with the, former members of
Of
Smokey
course.
Mountain?
And I think it's going to happen. The four of us, it will happen. Tony, Jeffrey, James, and I, it will happen. Hopefully, when the pandemic is much more manageable, Peter Ryan will do it. But we already talked about it.
All right, the original members.
By the way, Rito, you know that Tony is a sergeant major now, right? He's with the Philippine Air Force. I'm
Major!
really proud of him. I never thought he would be this.
Major Tony
like
Lambino.
military guy.
And maybe
So cool.
future central bank
Geneva also
governor.
is undergoing her reservist training.
Yes, I am actually doing the training now, and I'm in school to be in the Air Force as well. So I look up to Tony so much that I kind of want to be like him.
Geneva
Great,
Cruz.
great. Looking forward to it.
Geneva Cruz, Tony Lambino,
Yes.
iconic members of the Smokey Mountain Group. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.